Good evening to all. Today, I would like to share my experience about a cyclone that occurred in May 1990, how it caused destruction, and how ham radio operators played an important role in serving the government and the public. The services done by ham radio operators were appreciated not only by officials but also by the public. In 1990, a cyclone developed in the Bay of Bengal. As a precautionary measure, all ham radio stations were activated. I myself established a ham radio communication link from the Andhra Pradesh Secretariat. At that time, Hyderabad was the capital of the combined Andhra Pradesh. During that period, I was operating at night. The All India net was usually conducted in the evening on 14 megahertz band, around 14150 megahertz. At that time, a DX station was looking for Indian stations, especially a station from Andhra Pradesh. Fortunately, I was present on the frequency. The net controller called for any station from Andhra Pradesh. I responded immediately and he shifted us to a separate frequency so that communication could be placed without disturbance. The other operator was from Kenya. He was very eager to pass important information about the cyclone and its movement. At the same time, Indian Meteorological Department and other agencies were saying that the cyclone might cross somewhere between Ongolu and Kakinada. This was a very wide range and not an exact location, which is a normal practice. However, the Kenyan radio operator said that the cyclone would hit near the mouth of Krishna, Machilipatnam. He even pinpointed a specific place called Edurumundi in Avenigadda Mandal. This area is low-lying and frequently affected by cyclones and flooding. We still remember the Divisima cyclone where thousands of people lost their lives. So hearing that the cyclone might hit Edurumundi again was very alarming. But I faced a serious problem. I could not pass this information directly to the government because it was not received from any official source. As ham radio operators, our duty is to collect messages only from authorized officials like district collectors or magistrates and pass them to higher authorities. If we pass unverified information, it may create confusion, panic, and unnecessary expenses for the government. Evacuating people, arranging shelter, food, and facilities is a very big task. People also usually do not want to leave their homes. They fear that their belongings may be stolen if they evacuate. This is common in villages. So, unless the information is very clear and confirmed, it is difficult to take strict action. So, I decided to be cautious and did not immediately pass the message received from the Kenyan radio operator. I was in a dilemma, thinking about what to do. At that critical time, I received a phone call. The person introduced himself as Jwala Narasimha, PRO to the Chief Minister. At that time, Dr. Chenna Reddy was the Chief Minister. He asked if he had any specific information. I told him clearly that there was no official information, but there was some unofficial information which should not be treated as official. He then asked what the unofficial information was. I told him that according to a Kenyan radio operator, the cyclone might hit near Machilipatnam at the mouth of Krishna River. He was shocked and said that he might have to wake up the Chief Minister. Even though it was around 11 p.m., I again made it clear that this information was not from official sources and that the decision should be taken carefully. At that time, a journalist from Udaya Udayan newspaper was sitting near me and observing everything. He noted down the details. Meanwhile, I continued communication on HF and contacted stations from the USA, Russia, and other countries. I requested them to stay on the frequency so that they could act relay stations if communication conditions changed. This is a normal practice in ham radio. However, the journalist misunderstood this and thought that we were asking for help from foreign countries. The next morning, Udayam newspaper published this as a headline, including the cyclone information and the misunderstanding about foreign assistance. This created some confusion, but it also showed that ham radio operators can sometimes receive early information. Later, Reader's Digest reporters came to Hyderabad, interviewed me, and published this incident after verifying with officials. After the cyclone crossed the coast, it struck exactly at Edrumundi as predicted by the Kenyan radio operator. The damage was severe. Trees were uprooted, houses were destroyed, communication lines were broken, and the entire area was in darkness. At that time, there were no mobile phones and all landline communication had failed. The only communication available was ham radio. We were instructed by the National Institute of Amateur Radio, NIAR, Hyderabad, to go to the affected areas. We reached Vijayawada and waited for instructions because a VIP was expected. That VIP was late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, who was himself a ham radio operator with the call sign VU2RG. He came to review the cyclone relief operations. We tried to get permission to set up a ham station at Gannavaram Airport, but due to protocol restrictions, permission was not given. Then we approached ministers like Rosaya and Samarasmaha Reddy. Finally, we were given limited time to install our antenna at the state guest house. Within 10 minutes, we installed the antenna and adjusted it properly. When Rajiv Gandhi arrived, he immediately noticed the equipment. He picked up the microphone and started communication, calling, "This is VU2RG." A station from Nizamapatnam responded. Rajiv Gandhi spoke directly with the operator and got first-hand information about the situation. It was a proud and memorable moment for us. Later, we were sent to places like Avinagadda, Nagailanka, and Koduru. Initially, officials said they did not need ham radio because they had a microwave communication system. This system required a large setup, a generator, and about 200 liters of diesel per day. It was noisy and not very reliable. We requested them to allow us to work, and finally they agreed. We set up our equipment and started communication using just a small battery. Our system worked smoothly with very low power. While the microwave system faced difficulties, officials were surprised to see how efficiently ham radio worked. Finally, the same officer who initially refused us sent a message through our network saying that ham radio was working excellently and the microwave system was unnecessary. We also experienced duct propagation where our VHF signals reached as far as Chennai. This surprised many officials. All these experiences showed the strength of ham radio. It can work with simple equipment, low power, and still provide reliable communication. These were truly the golden days of ham radio. We were proud to serve during that time. With this, I conclude my experience. I will share more such experiences in the future. Thank you all. 73, which means best wishes. Bye.